Yes, and welcome to Creating ComicsGate Live. This is Rut and Glory. I am joined today by the White Cat Comics crew, Carla and John. How are you doing?
Doing great. I want to say something. We've had fan arts before. We've had, even Carla had a fan art of herself once. We've never
Nice.
had an intro that's like thematic, theme oriented. What we're promoting here. I
Nice,
saw what you
good.
did there, and I hope the audience did as well. Very, very cool, man.
It was killer, dude.
Nice, good. We got going to say hello to the chat. First of all, let me welcome Vinny Tardamella to the show. Of course, you provide one of the incredible variant covers for Witch Hunter.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I always love being here, man. You know, hanging out with you is always a trip. And seriously, we always have a great time. And I know I usually go on rants too, but definitely here to support Carla and John all the way. They're like, my brother and sister, just totally awesome people, super creative. Their projects just fucking rock.
Yeah, man. Look, Vinny is an authority when it comes to ComicsGate. When it comes to comics in general, I'll say we learn a lot from him. He's definitely the dude that you wanna copy things from, and that you wanna learn from. So it's just such an honor to be able to work with him, and have him be part of our project is just an immense honor. So.
Yeah, dude, Vinny, you're racking up quite the profile in terms of variant covers in ComicsGate.
Yep. Yeah, well, the praise alone, I mean, it's just, again, I literally do try to keep it as humble as possible because I'm just a hardworking guy. I mean, anyone who picks up my books or watch my streams, they're aware of that. So when I hear really kind words like that, it means a lot to me. It seriously does. But it just makes me want to push even further and harder on getting better projects out there.
Nice, man. Yeah, and you're certainly going to be doing that with your new pirate book that looks incredible, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that. But the book of the hour is Witch Hunter, of course, and you guys are about 15 days in. How far are you guys in on your campaign?
We should be halfway there, I think, on the first 30 days. It is very likely that we're going to extend, and then after that we'll be in demand. But get your copy now so that way you can get it sooner. These guys, Carla and Javier, the two artists that are working on the interior art, are just pumping out pages like crazy, right? These guys are super hardworking. Carla's obviously doing the colors. And this is when you can tell that there's a lot of passion behind projects and just love for what you do. Because Carla, doesn't matter what we're doing, where we are, or whatever's going on at the time. If we get that email from Javier and we get like that notification, she sees the page, and if she likes it, and we usually really do like what he's putting out. And I wish I could show more without spoiling it, but obviously I will spoil. But in the campaign, you can see plenty of interior art. But he gets better, he gets progressively better somehow. And and I can relate to that as a writer too. Sometimes you kind of get a little bit lazy towards the end of things. It's normal. But this guy is completely the opposite, right? He keeps getting better, and the page quality and the drawing keeps getting better. And as soon as Carla sees it, she has to color it, and she comes home wherever we are, no matter what we're doing.
Nice.
And she starts coloring right away, and these guys are putting out pages like crazy. So I am very confident that this thing is going to be done by the end of this year. So you know what I mean?
When did you guys connect with Xavier? Now he does work on the it's called Undead Border, right? 656 Comics.
Yes. Well, we did reach out to several artists first, and we were kind of shopping around. We knew that Vinny was definitely down for the cover, but of course, Vinny is an extremely busy person because he's just working on 8 projects at the same time. He found a spot to work on the cover, and of course, Carla, she's 8 months pregnant, so she couldn't really do the interior art of a book right now at the moment. Of course. It's incredible now that she's doing the colors for it now, let alone imagine doing the whole comic.
Congratulations, by the way. That is really spectacular. And
thank you. It's a new stage, like a new I guess in our relationship and life in general. So.
I would say so. Yeah, that's awesome. Beautiful. That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're excited too.
A CG baby.
We're excited.
That's wonderful.
With the CG baby coming at the end of December. So yeah, I mean, it's like like I was telling you, these guys put so much passion into it, and so we were looking around, and then we had this show in Spanish before. Sometimes we still do it, but it just we weren't reaching really that big of an audience. So there's still other people taking care of it, but we're not as involved as we used, especially now that I'm like working 2 jobs and everything is like super busy. And Carla's not feeling 100% every day either. So we do the best we can with live streams. I know we got to get back into it a lot more, and be more committed to it. But of course, life happens sometimes. But so we were friends with the 656 Comics crew. We knew that they were, they were a big deal in Mexico already as it was, in conventions, and they were just basically just professionals. And then they're in.
Uh-oh. I didn't do that.
Let's hope not. He's like,
that's my new format for the show. I just wait for them to really get going on something, and then just.
Yeah,
boom.
he's like,
see ya.
As soon as they talk about Mexicans, that's it.
Yeah, we can't have that. Come on now.
Rod, what is wrong with you, brother?
Sorry, like how we say, I promise I pay the internet. It's just technical glitches.
No, come on. You could just blame me. Everybody knows I'm incompetent, so you just blame Rotten Glory. It's fine.
No, you're good.
You built the wall.
I don't blame you. I think I by mistake kicked the cable or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so like I was saying, we were shopping around, and then we were friends with the 656 people. Oliver, what's his name? Crazy Harry. What do they call him? Crazy Pancho and Javier and all that. And so
they're awesome though. Those guys they're the best. I love them. And Oliver, dude, that guy is just the funniest guy.
He is funny, dude. And they have great stories too, and super impressive stories of how they overcame like the craziest shit you could think of, and still put their comics out there, And so, with Javier, I was looking at his because he has like a website, a professional website or whatever, his portfolio, and then the first thing that stood out to me was that because we were going to do a completely different comic at first. In fact, we have so many, I have so many scripts already finished and just lined up, and even ideas after that I haven't really polished like 100%. I wasn't really sure which way we're going, like which comic we were going to do next. It wasn't Grim Reaper 3 because we needed a break from that. I was tired of saying it. I was tired of talking about it with the characters. I needed a break from them. So, but we knew that we're going to do another one of the stories I already had lined up. Unfortunately, I always tell this story. There was a lot of CG projects that came out this year that were very similar to other things I already had scripted. So I just kind of had to you know what? Let's put this aside, or wait until that project dies out of or like completely fulfills, and maybe people forget about it. Not in a bad way, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. So, but the Witch Hunter thing, I think like Javier, when I saw his portfolio and saw how he did monsters, action, and in clothing and characters and everything, I said this is gonna be perfect for the interior art of this book, and so far he has not disappointed. So.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like those guys. I think they're what they're doing is really exciting, and it's cool that you were able to plug someone into this project, so Carla could take that time that she needs and get back to 100% and pop that thing out, get that thing out into the world.
Right.
But the good thing too is the collaboration of Carla and Javier. I mean, wow, really great stuff.
Yeah, the color. So, Carla, is coloring something? Is that how you started with comic books, or were you an artist first and then got into coloring after?
Yeah, I think it was. I started drawing because I always did manga, and manga is in black and white, so always coloring was like something secondary to me.
Yeah.
And when I entered ComicsGate and I saw that pretty much the vast majority of the comics were all colored, and the people definitely preferred color comics.
Yeah.
I started looking into it, studying, and now it's one of my favorite parts of the process. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I can tell that you actually really enjoy it. Unlike Passion for Drawing, he shared his absolute dislike for coloring.
Yeah.
He swore never to color again after Doomfate. So, and CG has certainly needs colorists. I think maybe those numbers are starting to grow. But for a while there, it was like, man, CG is really in need of colorists. But yeah, that's cool. Do you want to color other projects, or is it just you're going to keep it in house and only work on White Cat Comics stuff?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it in house. I don't know, like I am also a creator, so I don't know. I have so many ideas, so many. I swear. Like here, this thing that is scratching here, it's a machine of ideas, and I also have my own ideas. So we don't even know what to do because it's just so much things we want to do, right? So that's why we decided to like expand a little bit. I know it right now has to do with my pregnancy and stuff, but at the same time we were already planning expanding like the team, working with more artists so we can like cover more of those ideas. For example, in these books, I am doing a short story, the Stand the Dragon story, which I drew that one and also colored, but like I really enjoy coloring, but I wouldn't do coloring exclusively. I would do the whole thing.
And then there is just so much work into it as well. There's the campaign itself, putting it together, networking, live streaming, marketing it. So Carla does take it. Oh, and then she's doing the lettering too. I mean, she's the head and face of White Cat Comics.
Yeah.
I just kind of have the ideas, and I let these guys work on them. Really, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I get that, and it's it's tough as a writer in comics because there is it's so out of whack in terms of the time scale, time it takes the artist to produce, So it must be difficult choosing when you have all this kind of library of ideas that you want to do, but you're like, okay, realistically, how long? This is going to take this many months, and this is going to. So yeah, it must be tough making those choices.
Right, and there is times where you wanna play with styles. You wanna maybe do manga as opposed to Western comic, or you wanna play like what Carla is doing, kind of trying to make it look like movie stills from an anime with the Stand the Dragon mini story. So there's different things that we're trying and doing, and of course with different artists, we can cover more ground that way. And I think that's kind of what we're doing. And like we were talking behind, if you don't mind me bringing it up,
No, of course not.
This is, of course, this is a matter of passion. We want to put these books out there. Whatever little money we make is obviously welcome, but it's obviously not that's not the reason why we're doing it. But if we were, then we are in the wrong business.
Right. Yeah.
So it's definitely more about just putting these awesome ideas out there and just showcasing our talents and and making entertaining people for a little bit,
Yeah. Now it is really tough. It can be difficult finding that balance, like you're saying, all these different pieces that you have to juggle, the YouTube thing, the running the campaigns, producing the work for the comics. I mean, this is a lot. How do you guys balance this with your lives? Has it been difficult?
Yes.
I think it has been, but like I said, my involvement as far as the campaigns are concerned is writing them. Like I do all the writing that's concerned with the campaign, from writing the book to writing the campaign page to writing everything. And then after that, I just forget about it and move on with my life. You know what I mean?
You know your normal life.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But you're working. But you're putting in a lot of work hours. When you say normal life, you're working hard out there.
Well, of course, I have a job, and I have two jobs. So
you work the whole day.
But our rule, I think, in our personal life, I guess, is like weekends are for family. You know what I mean? And then we'll have 2 or 3 hours to like be on YouTube and just say hello and maybe push the campaign a little bit, because that's the only time I'm really gonna be available at all. But other than that, and we have another really silly rule, I guess, relationship rule, if you want to call it, is like we don't really. When we go out, we either leave our phones in the car or just don't even touch them at all. You know what I mean?
Nice, dude.
So because it's like that. It's like really pathetic when you're like, because we like going out, maybe to eat, watch a movie.
Sure.
I know it's been difficult for the lockdowns and all that, but our state is kind of semi-open, so you can places.
Good.
But
Yeah, it's absurd. I can't believe they're still, and it seems like they're doubling down on it.
yeah,
It's,
of course that might change. So that's what I'm telling. Like, let's go out right now because next year
Yeah.
is going to be probably worse. You know what I mean?
No, that doesn't. That's not a silly rule at all. I think that's it. It's really cool to hear you guys speak about it, and
Yeah.
that you're putting that in front of what you're doing with comic. It's important to you. It's built into your plan, and that's just it's good for people to hear that. You know.
Yeah, it's
sure.
smart and it's healthy.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of comic book creators in general. I think not the healthiest group of people, not mentally or physically. So it's good to hear that you guys are taking care of each other and yourselves that way.
I think it's also like so easy to be like, it's very hard to disconnect yourself. For example, I speak for myself here. You are very well at doing it, but I had sometimes a little bit difficult to disconnect myself from like the CG everything, right? And I was checking, okay, who's streaming? Oh, hey, what's up? Like in the chat, like,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
stop. It's so easy to just open your phone, enter to Twitter, see the notifications, enter to YouTube. Like, so you really have to do your part of the work and say, okay, that's it. My house is a mess. I have to clean the house. I have to wash the clothes. I have to cook.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's keeping up with all of that, and I think early on it's really easy. You get sucked into it, and like you're saying, you're just obsessively trying to keep up with everything, and I think it's good to have that foundation, so you kind of have this wealth of CG like lore and knowledge there, but it's not sustainable. We have to like find a balance.
Well, I think that the balance we kind of found was, Monday through Friday we go, super hardcore at it as far as work is concerned, everything regarding work, and then the weekends are left for family and friends, and that's it. And and of course some of you guys are have become friends and family even. So
nice.
We will stream with you guys on the weekends, but other than that, we are really not going to be doing much as far as work is concerned. So
yeah. Let's have a look at this campaign, shall we?
Sure thing.
Yeah, let's. Do we want to start with watching this trailer?
Sure. Yeah, it's a really good trailer. So.
Yeah, let's have a look. I believe I have. Make sure the audio is shared. Looks good. Let's do it.
Renowned witch hunter Alden is faced with the most dangerous quest of his life when a powerful witch emerges to threaten Grimsby. With the fate of his people hanging in the balance, Alden must unite with an unlikely ally to free Grimsby from the claws of evil. Don't miss this masterful tale from White Cat Comics.
Witch Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Red Gaze who put that together. For free, by the way. not saying he will do it for free for everybody, but he did it for free because
right. Yeah. No, it's and that's I love seeing that people just stepping up, contributing to other people's campaign, and it's all this give and take synergy that is going on between people in ComicsGate and the indie scene right now. It's pretty exciting to watch. It's cool to see it. But yeah, Red Gaze has been rocking a lot of great trailers lately. This is a good one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then also Kate. What is her last name again? Well, I don't know. We she goes by Nerium on social media. She's working on Bonds. That's I believe a webtoon. I think it's webtoons or she's over there. And I think she will be launching a campaign next year. She helped us put this campaign together and do like the background and stuff, like
the graphic design,
like the graphic design of it. So Another
Thank you, KP.
another thank you there, and of course thank you to Vinny for being a part of this. You're our brother, as you know.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, man. Sure.
Yeah, Nerium was participated in the 24-hour comic event that went down recently, and she is certainly one to watch. Her work is fantastic. She's
Very
really
talented.
yeah, she's certainly going to find some success with this crowd for sure.
Oh yeah.
I like to compare her, but of course I do this respectfully and without trying to offend anybody or anything. But I like to compare her to Vinny, but in like Japanese style, if you will.
We say like it's like Vinny goes to Japan.
It's like Vinny goes in a way, So yeah, it will be, now I just had an idea. It'll be great to have them work on a project together, but we'll make that happen, right, Vinny?
Yeah, it could be very cool. I was giving her some tips the other day as well. But again, she is very talented. When people see more of her work and her projects that are out there, I think she's going to get pretty popular pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So then that's a good thing, because we want good people who are very talented and hardworking in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we may have talked a little bit about this in the back room too, but I think it's so much work putting together these projects, from the comic itself, which I think if you haven't put together a comic, people might not understand the hundreds of hours that goes into that. But then everything combined with the platforming, the networking, running a campaign. I think we're gonna see people trying to enter into this race and thinking they've got dollar signs in their eyes. It's going to be easy to make some quick money, and it's like no. If you're doing this because you love it. Really, really love doing it. Yeah. And if you make some money, you will get to that place if you stay consistent and do the work and provide quality to people. You can make some money, but if you think it's just going to be a quick get-rich thing, it's not going to happen.
No, of course not, dude. Yeah. You never heard anyone go, I want to be a millionaire. Let me get into comics. You never hear that.
Maybe back in the heyday, that was a thought in somebody's mind.
Possibly, but
it's been a while since.
Yeah, not in a very long time. And trust me, if you want to be a millionaire, you're better off, getting some scratchers.
Yeah.
You'll have more luck that way. But I think that's one of the things I love about Indiegogo, really. As opposed to other platforms where you can crowdfund, that they're all like all or nothing, is the fact that you have the flexible goal, right? That in itself, I think it's a good idea, because even
in demand, you mean?
And even in demand, but I'm talking about the flexible goal, because with other platforms it's like an all or nothing, right? You either make your goal or But on the first one, like right before the campaign ended, the Grim Reaper one, I remember, it looked like we were not gonna make it to the end goal, but we were like, I don't know, $50 away or something like that. We were like, but the beauty of the flexible goal is that we can still fulfill, and still put ourselves out there for the next one, and that kind of was our thought process. Now the campaign did miraculously reach the goal, at the last minute. Literally, like at the last minute.
We weren't expecting it.
and we got past it. So it went in demand, and we're like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. Nice. But it didn't make crazy amounts of money, but because we got the book out there and people liked it, people saw the art, people read the story and they enjoyed it. They were like, the audience grew, and same thing with the YouTube channel and everything. The audience grew and
the trust, most of all, right?
The trust grew, of course, because this is crowdfunding, of
right.
course, always that thing. But then with Grim Reaper 2, we also offered the opportunity to get Grim Reaper 1, and so I guess we kind of built in this reputation for the company that kind of carries us, and it just makes the campaigns a little bit easier in the future.
Yeah.
So if you're a creator who's doing it for the first time and you don't pull crazy numbers, don't be discouraged. Just keep working hard, and those things will come eventually as you work hard and as you put these things out there and you showcase your talent. So.
Exactly. There seemed to be quite a big excitement on launch day for Witch Hunter. It seemed like how was that for you guys? Did it feel like there was quite a bit of energy there for it?
Oh yeah, Yeah, day one was crazy. Day one was crazy. It was the first time I've ever, like did a 4-hour, 4.5 hour live stream.
For us, that's a lot. Like I know that some other people. Well, you 24 hours.
I know.
Yeah,
I know,
well, yeah.
I know you guys will think that's some pussy stuff right there, but I'll tell you,
we're babies when it comes to streaming.
When it comes to me sitting down for more than an hour and talking into a camera,
Sure.
I you know what I mean? It's like I have had enough of this. But
no, but like people really enjoyed it, and it got funded like in 5 minutes. Was it?
It did get funded pretty quick.
Yeah, something like that. It was amazing.
Oh,
I like that though, when you said that though. Rod's like, 4 hours as he's drinking. That's cute.
Right? and I remember I couldn't stop like cussing every time because I was just shocked.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Boy, it took us a few days on the Grim Reaper 2 to get fully funded, and it did take us, I believe, the whole campaign before it went in demand to get where we are right now with this one. So,
this is like the reflection of our previous work, also, and also the entertainment we have been providing, like in the streams and stuff. And also, like, I understand that maybe when people watch the streams and they see that we click and we get, $500 more. Oh, that's so easy. But no, it's like a harvest, like you go,
Yes.
That's the harvesting moment, but there's so much work behind it and so much time working with no pay and no nothing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then at once in front of everybody. So sometimes people get confused and they think, this is so easy,
That's the thing, yeah. And I think, people are going to come at this, they're going to try and do it, and they're going to realize pretty quick that that's not the case. And I know how hard you guys are working, and I mean, how long have you been? When did you start the White Cat Comics YouTube channel?
We started it this year sometime. Sometime this year we started it.
It's a baby channel.
It's a baby channel. I believe we already are 500 subs or so.
Almost
500 subs. So we're almost, but I think that the good thing, the thing that White Cat Comics has going on for it, as far as the YouTube channel is concerned, is just the variety. We have the girl show that's it's on pause right now because, of course, baby's coming any minute now. But I'm sure they will resume that. And then we have my political talk show when I just put a mask on and act the fool. And then we have Saturday and Sunday hangouts with Vinny and Red and other creators and other people, or just
promoting other campaigns, because that's also very important, to actually help other creators. It's not a me thing. That's very important.
And so you have variety. You have for you had a little bit for everyone. I think, and especially for people who love comics. I think we even when we're talking about politics, or even when we're talking about when we're just shitting on SJWs or whatever it is that we have fun doing. I think we don't ever kind of deviate from the main objective, which is just pushing comic books and this medium that we love so much.
Yeah. I gotta say, Carla's colors it's working really well with Xavier's artwork. I mean, I think it's the pieces that I saw in the trailer they just look fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes.
Is that something? Did you just did you guys kind of work together for a while and come up with the process for these results?
Not really.
Was it just kind of like an instantaneous?
The thing is that I've been trying different palettes and different ways of. Oh,
we're back.
Sorry.
We're back.
You're back.
No, we have. It's my first time coloring a project, like just coloring. I am very used to do the whole thing, so now I feel like it's so fast and so easy. I'm just doing the colors. Sorry for the colorist, but I actually the first pages I did, which are the ones that we're seeing in the trailer, are actually my least favorite ones because those are like the kind of test palettes I was using.
Sure, right.
But now, I got to one I really, really like, and I developed a method. I call it the Carla method of coloring.
Okay.
It's like a combination of different tutorials and methods of coloring I have studied, and I put them all together and try to make something that looks good, but it's also more efficient in terms of time. Because it's very easy to be like, oh yeah, like this little earring, 3 hours doing the metals. No, hell no, we have to work, we have to put the pages out. So yeah, like I kind of developed this new way that is super fast, and I love the look of it. The first page I did with that method, I think, is the one where, well, I'm gonna tell you which one is it when we get there.
Okay, nice. So yeah, let's have a look at this campaign.
Right.
Now this is the manga cover here by you, Carla.
Yeah.
Now is this the main cover, or is that Vinny's? Is Vinny's the main cover?
I don't know if there's a main cover.
Yeah,
it's
both are
valid.
Nice.
Because the beauty of it is like we said on other different streams, is like both of the covers have a different ending to the story, right? So Carla's cover has it's cover A ending A, and then Vinny's cover is cover B ending B. And without really knowing it, I feel like, but this is more of a coincidence than anything. I think Vinny, on the aesthetic of the comic itself, it does kind of set the vibe for what the ending of that story is going to be. And then same thing with Carla too. So I don't know. I feel like,
yeah, it's like I said on another stream. It's like one is path A, one is path B. So
right.
where it's going to split.
Yeah.
I think people are going to be very entertained.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's very interesting. When did that idea hit you that you wanted to have two different endings? Like, was that early on with this concept?
No, not necessarily. I feel like, well, this story was written about 2 years ago. Me and Carla were living in a different country at the time. Because we've had a crazy life, and I just kind of archived the story and see what I could do with it later on, and moved on to different stories and different ideas that were coming to my mind at the time. That laptop, however, burned with our house in January, right? So we lost all the files, and we lost the story completely. But I rewrote it recently, and I rewrote it with a different ending just because I felt like, hey, maybe this will be an improvement. What I came to realize was that both of the endings were really good for the story and would be really fitting for the story. So I felt like, what we could do, since we're going to be basically hiring Vinny for a variant cover, is to have variant covers with alternate endings, both of them. But I don't think there's one that is particularly canon. I think that both of them are good, and both of them are are actually great. So yeah, we decided to do it like that just because there were two stories originally. But the story is going to be the same up to a certain point, where with the witch hunter, the main character, will have to pick who he saves. And I like to compare that to the early Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the first one, where he where he's facing the Green Goblin, and he gives him a choice between saving Mary Jane or the kids in the cable car, and he lets go of both at the same time from the bridge. And so Spider-Man kind of sees with one eye his girlfriend falling and the kids falling, and he has to make a choice, right? Now, of course, in the movie he saves both of them at the same time, but in the book this will be impossible. So what he ends up doing is, this is when the story takes two different paths, right? It will be either he saves Riva, who's the good witch that's helping him on his quest to kill this evil witch, or he saves the man who's raised him as his father all his life, right? And who put him in that situation in the first place. So depending on who he saves, the story takes a different path. And that's and the covers will be different as well. So I know it's a pretty cool experiment.
I think it's very funny because you explain it in a way like for Western comic fans, and I explain it in a weeb way. The people like all these games, the visual novel games that you make decisions, right? So the weebs understand me, but you explain it in a more comic friendly way.
Well, because we are not there yet with make your own, like follow your own adventure thing, but we will, and I think that's why the PDFs are going to be important, or the the digital versions of these comics are going to be important, because we want to go that route with upcoming projects as well, to where I don't know, maybe we kind of looking for the software to do this, right? I know people like Rob Muerto has done this, right?
Yes.
Where you click the character and the bubble speech comes up and things like that. We want to make it so that you can click a path for the story moving forward,
That's
going to be an
intense.
excruciating amount of work, I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just write the thing.
Yeah, that's one of those ideas where it's like, damn, that's obviously that works really well with the comic medium, but then you're looking at,
it is going to
now
be
we're adding even more hundreds of hours of work for the artist.
Right.
Yeah, but every time you have a branching path, you're creating X amount of work for your team, and but man, the payoff could be really huge. That's a great concept.
It's just going to be a lot of fun, and I always joke about this because I don't know if Xavier is watching right now. If you are, please leave a comment. But Xavier didn't find out about this until when we were already kind of announcing it, and he was like, "Oh wait, so how is this gonna work?"
You do that to me too.
Yeah, I do that to everybody. So I just told them, so the way this is gonna work is we're just going to give you extra pages to draw, and we'll put it together. So that's basically. I think both of the endings are great. I guess there's one happier than the other. But I guess this creates a what if scenario, like kind of what Marvel does with moving into alternate stories, if you will. DC does it too.
Yeah. Just less coffee shops.
Right.
Now, how many pages after the split are there on these alternate stories, or is it different for each one?
No, that's the thing. They're the same amount of pages.
Okay.
So far, we are looking at a total of 46, but we want to put 4 more extra if we get to the 5K overall for the book. Now, for the alternate ending, including the Stand the Dragon story, then you're looking at about 10 extra pages. So you are looking at about pretty much 2 different comics,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's really cool. That sounds really. I mean, I think just having both stories is going to be really part of the fun of this project and getting this project, because you're going to get really. I'm hoping when you read it, it's different enough, and there's enough impact in the difference that it's going to be very interesting to see what effect it has on the character, and that could be really fascinating to actually be able to read the 2 different endings rather than just the one. I think if I don't know what I got. I think I might have missed out on getting both. I might have to revisit the campaign and snag it, because I guess I wasn't fully aware of what the concept was when I backed.
Yeah. But just for everyone who's watching and is interested, that's the feature perk, is getting both of them. That of course will save you money on shipping and taxes and everything, right? So you want to get both. Both of the covers and both of the endings. I think it's a great deal. Like I said, if we get to 5K, our first stretch goal is making it to 50 pages, and this is going to be much like Grim Reaper 2 was a glossy cover, perfect bound book. So it's gonna be really quality. It's gonna look really nice.
Yeah,
so,
if we get to 5K, we're gonna get the 50-page book. Yeah. Now, for now, it's 46.
Yeah.
But we plan adding the 50. Well, I'm already preparing it. I'm very hopeful we're gonna pass the 5K.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely going to pass.
I hope so too.
We're very close to that, so.
I think it's safe to say that we're doing, that we are doing the 50 pages. But then, of course, we have to get to the 5K before we get to In Demand, right? So help us cross that, help us cross to 5K so that we can, before we go In Demand, so that we can extend the 4 pages more. So it will be good.
Absolutely. And just so everyone watching knows, I am posting the link, and some other very cool people like Hex Allen. I appreciate you, man, have been dropping some links. But I do have links in the description to this video below. To White Cat Comics on YouTube. If you're not subbed to their channel, go do that. To Witch Hunter Campaign, of course, and also to both of you on Twitter.
Thank you.
Follow these folks. They're doing great work. They're working hard. They're entertaining, and they're giving artists an opportunity to flex, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are also grateful for everyone who's back and support this project, and for the artists who have been working with us. Javier and Vinny and Kate who just and Red who just put in their little amount of work or a lot of work into it as well. So we're super thankful for that. And by the way, all that information too, if you do check out our campaign, is at the very bottom. You have our Twitter handles and our YouTube channel and our email too. So
we're very reachable. So any question, anything, we're going to answer. So yeah, definitely. I think that's something very important we have been doing since the beginning, right? Like this customer service, like being very open with the people and very easy to reach. You can reach to any of us, and absolutely. We're like this.
And we usually do respond or follow back if you're following for the first time. So man, we're super approachable. Just let us know if you have any questions about our project. We'll be more than happy to. I know that we did sell in the Grim Reaper 2 campaign. We did sell some books that way. That people just hey, I missed out on the campaign. Can I still get it? Yeah, sure. We still have some books left.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it seems you have a pretty strong belief in digital, and I have to say I think my attitude towards that is shifting a bit. Initially, I was just like, if it's not physically in my hand, I'm not interested. But I do think that being that narrow-minded about it, it could be a mistake for comics, because there's a whole generations of people coming up now that are so used to everything being on a screen, to that digital component, that they're not as emotionally attached to the physical as we were,
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good thing, and I see that you're offering a reasonable digital option here.
Yeah, I mean, I know that digital can get a little bit of bad reputation sometimes, especially because I understand that CG is also a community of collectors, and that's understandable, but from the beginning there were a lot of things that I was taking into consideration as a creator and what I would like as a customer too. I think that we both Carla and I complement each other very well on those regards. As Carla is like, all right, so how can I, as a creator, maximize profit here and make the best product possible? And I think of what would I like to see if I was the customer, right? And so you think about a lot of things here. Number one, from the creator's perspective, well, everything that you make in digital is for you. You don't have to spend it in printing or shipping anything. That's number one. And of course, as a customer, if I live somewhere super far where I'm gonna pay, I don't know, $25 or more in shipping cost, especially if that translates to a lot of money, whatever currency I have, you know what I mean? Maybe, but I still want to read it, but I just can't afford it. Then the digital option, it's a great option, and that's it. It's $10. You don't pay anything else.
We have been offering the digital option since the beginning. Even though a lot of big names were advising us, don't do it. We were no, you know what, we're gonna do it. But that's because, look, first of all, now that we already are in our third campaign, a lot of people that backed digitally first, then they bought the book because they liked it. They know they like it.
Correct.
Right? So they feel sure that, because come on, like I understand. Come on, man. Here in the US, maybe you say, oh, it's $10, but we're foreigners. We know how much $10 is in our countries or in other countries. So I understand that maybe you have to think a little bit more for those $10, and you want to be sure that you're going to be getting something good. One example, for example, is, well, in all of our countries, the manga and anime is such a huge thing. The anime conventions are exploding. All the weekends you have many of them, right?
Yeah.
And that's because this is not something good. We read everything like for free because it's like piracy kind of manga on the internet.
Course. Sure.
However, the amount of fans that is in Latin America is unmatched. You have no idea how crazy people is about manga. So, and people is willing to pay for stuff after they actually can see what they're getting into, and they know they like it, so they are willing to spend money on it. So I don't know, like
Yeah, some people do treat the digitals as a test before they go
yes.
ahead and buy the physical copy.
Right.
I think, and to add to the point, and just to finish my point that I was talking about earlier, I'm trying to make the digitals more fun and interactive for that reason. I'm trying to make them something else, something I want to say a little bit more video game-ish, if you will. You know what I mean? As to choose your
totally, absolutely,
type of thing. And like you said, I love everybody who's a collector and everybody who backs the physical copies of this. It's wonderful. It's fantastic, and I cannot thank you enough. But you look at the main makeup of ComicsGate, and let's not kid ourselves. We're all in our 40s, 30s, 50s. You know what I mean? Here comes a new generation of people who are going to want digital because that is the future. So I don't want to just dismiss completely the digital option. Because I think it's the future, and if we make it fun and interactive, and if we make it exciting, I think we can make something pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, because, for example, if I back something digitally, I will have to sit in the computer and read it, which is kind of like a turn off for me. But there's people like with the Green Reaper too, that they were tagging us like, oh, I am adding this to my digital collection. They have these tablets, the Kindles, like devices that are designed specifically for reading. And they actually like collect the comics there, and they can take it everywhere. I don't know. They were in a plane reading, and that's very cool. I mean, it depends also in which electronic devices you have, right? And this is not like a link we're sending you to a web page that doesn't belong to you. No, we're sending you the file, so you're gonna keep it because it's yours now. I know there's all these debate about the piracy and stuff, that it's very easy to copy and send the file to everybody else. I'm not giving ideas for the ones who got referred to digitally, but at this point we know that we are starting. We want to be known, and we want as much people possible reading our books.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Paul Ryder says, "You damn foreigners and their digital comics."
I agree.
Yeah, I know. But I really am. My attitude is shifting, and even more having this conversation with you. I think it's an important one. I know I'm really
into the dark side.
I'm starting, and I'm like, it's impossible for me to back everything that I would like to. There's just too much going on now in this scene, and it's, this is an option. Okay, maybe I can't throw you the full support of getting a physical and having it shipped, because it's a major expense, $40, $50, $60 in a time when we're living in a time where things are a little bit or maybe a lot sketchy, and we don't really know what's going to happen from one day to the next.
Right.
And I might start saying, look, I this is what I can do. I can buy your digital, I can throw you some support, and of course promote you and get you out there. But I think it's a very viable option. I think it's smart that you guys have been doing it and can continue to do it. And it's exciting that you want to make it better, a more interesting, interactive experience. Exactly. That's really cool. How is that going? Go ahead, Vinny.
I was going to say, that is a good thing that John is planning, because me personally, I'm kind of against digital, but I also see how it could be beneficial for a lot of different people's campaigns and what they're doing with their projects. But if John wants to do something a little more interactive, that is definitely a new approach I haven't seen, at least in around our circles. So I applaud him on doing that, and I think it's a good thing that they want to do that.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you saying that, Vinny. But the thing is, like, this is like, it's not like the software isn't there already. It's not like you cannot just go on Webtoons and read a comic, and this can be a turn off for some people. Don't get me wrong. So that's why we want to make it optional. But you can read a comic with music in the background, for example. There's things that you can do with web comics and with digital that it's already there. It's been tried many times, but you're right, Vinny. Nobody has really tried it in our circle yet. Say for and I will mention him again, is Rob Muerta, because he did something really cool with his digital. You know?
He had sent that to me as well, like even beforehand, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's a good thing. It's fucking cool.
It's really cool. Did he do that with his first? It's Tales from the Classroom? Is that right?
Yeah, the first one, I believe.
Because I backed that. I have the physical. It's the digital. I'd like to check that out. Is that something he gives to the backers?
I'm not sure. But what I do remember is that in the digital, if you clicked at the character, the bubble speech comes up. Now that's baby steps towards what I want to do, but it's similar to it. You know, is the concept that really inspired me. Then I said, dude, we need to get in touch about the software. I need to learn how to do this because that is awesome. And then imagine doing that with music in the background, maybe even voicing over the characters, even as the person reads. There's just options. You know, there's tons of things I want to play with when it comes to digital. Now we're taking baby steps with this campaign, and I think that whole choose your own adventure thing is an approach to it. And it's like I said, you know, it's baby steps towards what I want to do. But once we get the hang of it and we see that people like it, man, this is going to explode, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I also think that we are creators, right? But being a creator shouldn't be only creating the story and the art. No, you can actually like create new ways of presenting the work and new ways of selling it. We are not limited to anything. Why are we like sticking to what bigger creators do and just copy them? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, I love that.
Out of your eyes.
Yeah, and it's another thing too is like we're not bound by the rules that the people that work for these corporate entities, and they're like their hands are tied behind their back. They're so restricted on what they can do, how creative they can be, and it's like we have none of that. We can do whatever the hell we want to, and I don't think we necessarily leverage it enough.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? It's just we're only limited by the number of backers we get, by the money that we have for these campaigns. The more we make, the more we can do for people, and that's a good thing. You know, like right now, like where I'm at, my position and all the work that I'm doing, like I can't do digital. Just like the way I need to generate that money for the work that I'm doing, because it's going to justify what I'm doing. You know, if it's not enough, then I shouldn't be doing this anymore. You know, I'm working towards building up more. But eventually I want to get to a point where I could do it. Maybe I'll do a full campaign eventually one time. And you know, you could get my catalog on, it depends. You know,
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. We're not limited. But as it is right now, I think it's something extra special to do what we're doing. You know, and especially the format that I've been doing with these books and how cinematic I'm trying to make each thing. That's why I'm just doing only print.
Yeah.
And even with just print, you can have so many things to play with. You know, for example, and I don't know, I don't believe. I mean, I have backed a lot of Venus campaigns, but I haven't backed every single one of them. So I don't know if you have tried this before, brother. But there was one idea that just came to my mind. Is like, you know, you have all these sexy characters. You know, you're really good at you nail the female anatomy. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should have a calendar, man. You know, you should totally have a calendar with the things that you have done. I would definitely get that. You know, that's the thing.
Cool. Yeah, because years ago I did for a couple of conventions. Yeah. But yeah, I something like that might be pretty good to do. I've done the art books, but yeah, I haven't done a calendar yet for crowdfunding. Yeah. If there's a big enough demand, I mean, why not? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's things you can play with, and that is the fun of crowdfunding. And like I said, you know, and many people will disagree with me, but at this stage in Wildcat Comedy, everything we do it with fun and passion, you know, and thinking of what the backers would like to have in their hands, or you know, or in their computers, or in their Kindles, or whatever, you know.
But at the same time, I think that CG is becoming very competitive. You know, every time there's more and more creators, the level every time is higher and higher and higher. So what do? You know, like if everybody's doing the same, do something different, because there's no way of standing out. Like, this is a good thing. There's a lot of talent, a lot of very worthy of your buck kind of books.
Right.
So you have to get more creative, you know, to survive in the jungle.
And that's exactly why too. I jump genres. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, you should just continue doing one book or whatever." Well, what if that one book just, you know, it's good, it's doing nice, people enjoy it, but it's going to be a longer, slower build up. I might even get bored working on just one at a time like that. So, because I'm like John, right? We have a bunch of different stories in our heads that we want to get down, and I've had a library of stories between my brother and myself that we've developed over the years. So, you know, grabbing another good one and going with it. It's so gratifying. It feels so freeing. It's like like a director, a writer-director who, all right, now I'm going to jump on this new project, right? I did a ghost story. Now I want to jump and do like a Lord of the Rings type thing. You know, there's a lot of freedom on that, and your energy is going to go through the roof too, because you just want to wow people.
Oh yeah, dude. Anytime you finish something that's been, you know, really taken it out of you, it's been a long process. When you get that new, you know, that new project to start, man, there's so much energy there. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, man. And that's the beauty of it, because then and we are offering something new. You know, someone's like, oh yeah, no, that was a good story. Like, what's your next project, or what's going to happen? A lot of people are asking me for City of Venus 2. I'll be working on that after the pirate book, because the pirate book right now, I'm so far into this. I love what I'm doing, and trust me, every page I want to show people, but I can't yet. We're building up right now.
And there is, I have another confession to make too, that there is one more reason why deep inside I kind of really like digital more than anything. Yeah. And this is not just throwing shade at anybody, of course, you know, I love you guys and everything, but it's like I cannot tell you how many times a backer has gotten the physical copy, right? And compliments, oh, the art looks great and everything. And then you ask him, what you think of the story, man? Oh, I haven't read it. It's been a year since he got it, right? The digital backers will always tell you what the story was about and how much they liked it. You know
that's interesting. No, that's actually really interesting. So it's almost like I think there may be kind of this thing with comic book collectors, people who really, they kind of love just the getting of the comics. That almost maybe that kind of satisfies the itch in a way, and they kind of put it in there. You know, it's all nice and crisp, and they put it in the box, and it's like, I've got it. And that kind of satisfies it. Where the digital copy, it's like, I want it so I can read it. Literally, that's where I get my satisfaction, is reading it. So I can see how that happens. That's fascinating.
And I think that as a writer, that kind of, I don't know, because, you know, of course, Carla deserves all the praise in the world, but, you know, she gets so much praise from the book because
that's going to be so much praise punishable later.
Right. She gets so much praise from the books because the books are great. That, you know, we have an amazing printer. Everything looks glossy and beautiful. But they didn't read the story. In fact, a lot of times they didn't even care for it. when they get the digital, however, you know.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really starting to understand this affection for digital you've got here. The writer's ego has been slapped on the table. I get it.
I don't think that's the whole of it. There's of course a lot of reasons to do it like that, but
yeah, dude, You've got to have a thick skin to be a writer in comics. I got to say, because really understanding that the artist really, at least in my opinion, art in comics, the art is the rock star of the show. I'm not saying the story isn't important. Obviously, when something's really well written, it's going to keep people coming back, but the artists are the rock stars in comics, and the writers really understand that, and sometimes it can sting a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, though. The best collaborations are the ones where the writer and the artist could sit down and come up with the story together. Yeah. Then you're going to get something extra special.
Sure, you know? Yeah. And
especially I think... with my experience of what I've done in the industry, too, and just working with different people, that is going to be the best blend. Because I know there's a lot of writers out there, they'll do a script, right? And it'll be this gigantic script that goes on for pages and pages and pages. And, you know, they upset the artist. So they just go, here it is, and they dump it off and they walk away. And they don't care. As long as everything's there, that's all they give a shit about. And that's where you see the hit and the misses.
Yeah. Dude, artists need that room to breathe, man. Give them as much autonomy to make it their own as you can without, you know, there's going to be certain points where it's like, no, this absolutely has to be this way, but like choose those battles as a writer and let the artist really flex, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really important. Yeah. But I'm sure John knows about that.
That is kind of the relationship I have with Javier in a lot of ways, you know. I told him from the get-go, look, man, I hired you because I like your style and because I envision my story in your style. So I'm not going to be correcting that at all. Don't expect me to get back to you saying you need to fix this or fix that, because if I hired you from the beginning, it's because I believe in you, right? And I believe in your art style, and I envision the story in your art style. I'm not particularly picky about that. There's one rule and one rule only I have with artists, and when they break that, that is when I completely just I'm like, this is not gonna work out. And the one rule is
shirts off all the time.
Shirts off all the time, rubbing your nipples. That's one. Okay, then there's and then there's a second one, right? And that second rule, and it has to be respected 100% of the time, is do as many panels as I'm telling you, because because I already came up with a narrative. I know how the story is going to flow. If you skip a panel to make it easier on yourself, right? Or you, for some reason, add another one, the story is not going to make sense anymore. That's what the writer should do. And then the way I script my stories is I have page 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, however many panels, and what happens in each one and what I'm seeing in each one. If he goes from panel 1 to panel 3, then there's going to be a disconnect. There's going to be something. There's going to be a piece of information that I'm missing, and the story is not going to flow the same way. And I don't know anymore what's happening. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that the only rule I have, and Javier has been fantastic at respecting that one rule. If I tell him 9 or 8 panels, it's 9 panels you're going to see. Because I don't know. I don't know if this happens to you, but to me, I hate it when there is a whole scene going on in a comic book page, and it carries on to the next one, and it's just like a piece of the next one. You know? Yeah. That's a horrible contrast. I hate it. Especially when there's going to be different coloring, different settings, and different characters doing it. It's confusing. So a lot of times I want to kill a whole scene in one page, and sometimes it might take 9. You know what? It might take 9 or 8 panels because that's what it's going to take. As simple as that. And Javier is super imaginative and super creative at formatting the panels so that it's not boring and square. And you can have it boring and square, like say The Watchmen. That was all 9 panel pages, right? Mm-hmm. You can have it boring and square like that and still be amazing. But he makes it so that it's like super fun to read. So I think we worked out with him just phenomenal.
But see, and that's a good point you made too. It also depends on that creative team, how well they work together to do that. Because you could say it with Watchmen, but like Doomsday Clock, they try to mimic that, right? And they had so many panels, I was getting bored out of my mind.
Right.
Fucking bored. I lost interest in it. And then they're like characters that, because they're deep cuts DC, like that's another reason Jeff Johns, to me, I think he fell off as a writer. I gave a really good review, by the way, on the 3 Jokers. I went off on it.
Oh, you did?
I fucking went off on it.
Damn, I've heard almost universal praise for that thing.
You should go take a look at my review.
Okay.
Video art on YouTube. I went off because to me that kind of shit, what they were trying to do, insulted Killing Joke. It insulted the story elements of what happened too with like Jason Todd and that Joker. There is so many problems all over the place, and then hypocrisy from the writing because he basically, like, they're even wagging the finger at Jason Todd for killing somebody, but then in the same book, in the very next book, Batman takes out a whole room full of Jokers with the Batmobile. That's A-okay. Wow. Jason's still shooting people too, just as long as they're not a headshot, it's okay. Like, come on, dude. There's so much garbage all over the place, and then these quote unquote Jokers. Spoiler alert. They died in their own books. The one with Jason Todd. The one who beat him to death with the crowbar. He blew up in the building, did he not?
Right. Yeah.
The Killing Joke. That was the name of the book. They tell the joke. Batman and him start laughing. Batman starts to strangle the Joker to death. That's how it ends.
Right.
He's the Joker who's alive.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'll check out your review. Yeah. That's
But the same thing though. It's like the panels. You have such a talented artist, because I'll give Jason Fabok, he gets all the credit in the world on that. Art, 10 out of 10, but the way that he had shit going for him, these little panels and stuff, like, it gets boring, because they had like 3 years to work on this project, right? And they dragged it the fuck out. And they didn't have to. Yeah, because, again, you have an opportunity to tell a very cinematic story, and they wasted it. They wasted because they had to get to these little subplots, these sub-stories that really went nowhere, and the overall 3-issue arc went nowhere. It's just so in the end, we could know that Batman knows who the Joker really is. Wow. Applaud yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Go fuck yourselves. And there was no need for 3 Jokers, period.
Yeah.
None. It's like
that's too bad. I mean, but there it is. But I hear what you're saying, John. It's like, and there's not one way to do it when you're talking about writing a script and working with an artist. But you've got to find what works for you, and just conveying that information up front to the artist so they know exactly this is how it has to be on these certain things. And it sounds like you've really found that working relationship with Xavier really well. So,
yeah, I mean, like I said, just as long as the artists respect that, everything after that is their own. It comes out of their own imagination. How do they envision the story? And that's something that I'm really interested in seeing. How does my story look like in this person's mind at the end of the day? We're going to be, and this is a spoilers alert here, we're going to be working next year with Kate from Nerium on a project as well, and I'm really excited to see. And when I turned in the script to her, she was like, just do the story like if it was a book, and I'll arrange and organize the panels. And I told her no. I was like, no, you
don't work that way.
Not that way, because then after that there's gonna be things missing, and those things might be crucial. I forget. I'm a horrible writer, but I forgot what you call the gun that you're supposed to use if you introduce it in the beginning, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah.
So and maybe artists are not aware of that, but that is extremely.
No, that's a very valid point. That if you're giving the artist your words in prose format rather than broken into panels, it's something that you're like, this is absolutely vital to the flow of this moment, this story. The artist might read over it and it might not hit them as being that important. It might not even make it in. So I hear what you're saying for sure.
Which is why you have so many people who always complain that the books are better than the movie. It's because movie scripts are completely different. Script writing is completely different from prose writing, from writing a book. That's why you have those really awkward transitions from someone who's a book writer, a novel writer, into script writing, like say J.K. Rowling when she tried to do Fantastical Beasts, and the movie feels awkward and feels like it doesn't have a good flow, and it feels like there's a lot of random shit that shouldn't be there, and it's there, and it's because she's a novelist, I definitely respect a lot of people. Vinny just pointed it out too. You have great artists who can be writers. But if you have an artist who's just an artist, I think it's best if people just stick to what they're good at and they come together and do it together. You know what I mean? Now, you have great artists who are great writers, Don't get me wrong, Beanie's an example of that. But not every artist can be a writer. Not every writer can be an artist. And when those two powerful forces come together, they can make magic happen.
Yeah, there is a lot of give and take, and it depends on how the story is being told. Because Frankie likes to do kind of like a script type of deal, right? But certain things like they didn't make it into the end of Through the Woods because I did the first draft of the story, then he came in, right? So when he did, he kind of started getting his own vision a little bit. So on 2 and 3, when we were working on those. We came up with the story together, but he wanted to sit down and write it all out himself. And, that's where we butted heads a bit because there's certain elements that had to be changed or we had to tweak things or even the end of the book. So on paper, something sounded really great, but to pull it off with the artwork was going to take way longer and too many pages were going to be wasted to have a very simple thing. So we had to edit it. We had to change it around. And ultimately, we got to both agree upon it. Like you said, Rot, you got to pick your battles. Yeah,
right. Exactly. But, it's fascinating. I love, the insights into the process are really interesting. So, I think as a writer, I tend to be more of course, like you're saying, I break things into panels as well. But I do say to the artist, look, if you have an idea, a concept, a way of reducing how many panels are there and telling this story and presenting it in a more visually dynamic way, I'm going to trust the artist to be able to know how to do that better at times. But you're right, there is a danger in it. They might miss something. You might have to tell them, this is really awesome, I know it took some time, but this has to be there.
And it's not to say, it's not to say that an artist cannot be right, because there are many artists who are fantastic writers, but it's not about being a writer or not. It's about being able to draft a coherent story with a good flow, and
it's storytellers.
Right.
Yeah, we're storytellers, so you got to be able to, like you said, tell a proper story. Period.
You have to be able to narrate it in a good flow, and sometimes you can hit bumps along the way if things are missed or omitted because of trying to save time or paper or whatever, and it's a shame. It's a shame because of course you could you could just pretty much just make the story. You in one scene you can ruin a really good story. You can completely ruin a good story with one bad scene. So I think that as long as me and my artist, whoever that may be, and I think it's easy working with Carla because she's always in the same house with me. But as long as the artist, whoever that may be, always respects that rule of sticking to whatever amount of panels and really showing what I'm seeing. In their own unique way and style, because that's the reason why I hired them for. I think we'll be fine, and you have no corrections from me at all. And that's the one thing I always says, like you never tell me to correct anything. No, because this is, I wanted to see how you envision the story. And one thing that he does great, and one thing that does to artists, because artists are very sensitive people, right? Artists are people who are very much in touch with their sensitive selves. When you give them wings, like they fly, like butterflies. When you give them wings, that's when real magic happens.
Nice.
So I try not to be very restrictive with them.
Yeah, like John was saying, man. Most
I've noticed that Carla has been pretty quiet through all of this.
I'm discovering all these thoughts that my husband has.
Interesting.
Well, so you've got again, you're offering this the digitals here. I'm assuming the digital pack for $10 is the one ending, and if you get digital pack 2, you're getting both endings. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice. Very cool. And man, I've got to tell you, like, it is huge. After I don't know, I've backed over I think 70 projects, and there are people out there that are backed way over 100. There's so much support in this scene, but like that shipping cost, man, it can be a killer. So this digital thing's starting to make a lot of sense to me as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool that you're offering that. Now, are you playing around at all with the digital on Witch Hunter in terms of adding a little flair? I know, like you said, baby steps, or is it just going to be a straight digital presentation?
No, we are adding a flair to it.
Nice, cool.
Which is why it might take. Usually doesn't when in our campaigns, but this one might take just as long as the printed one. Usually those go out a lot sooner for obvious reasons, right?
Right.
But this one might take just as much work as the
Sure. I mean, you're learning it, you're figuring it out. So yeah, it could take a while.
Yeah, so we're figuring it out. We're getting the software and doing it that way. But we are going to be adding some juicy stuff in it for sure.
Nice.
We are, and we on the previous Grim Reaper campaigns, everybody got a digital print as well. So you know what I mean? It's not just obviously the printed book, but you get something nice in there as well. So
very nice. Okay, so the feature tier is definitely you're going to get both covers, both endings, but you can, of course, buy cover A and ending A, and cover B and ending B separately. Yes. But obviously, if you're gonna get both, you want to get the feature because it will save you money on that shipping cost.
And I guess there's something that you should know as a backer of Indiegogo campaigns. It's like I always try and explain this to people. Try to, if you can, of course, get what you're going to get on the first time you get it, because every time that you say back a perk, but then you realize that the other perk had more stuff, and then you refund the money, it ends up costing us money. So I advise, if you're going to end up getting both, don't get one and then refund and then get the two. If you can from the beginning, get the two. I think even if you have to wait a little bit longer, because I think it's worth it more in the end, and everybody loses less money in the process. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's tough. It's something, again, we're kind of spoiled. People don't often think about the cost of a refund like that it does cost the creators money. So yeah, that is something to think about. And I'm really interested in getting both of these endings. So
absolutely.
I'm kind of in that position. Maybe I think I snagged Vinny's cover. I'm not sure.
Right.
I'd have to look at it, but now I'm like, damn, I really kind of wanted to get both. But
it's worth it. It's worth it. I'll say it's worth it getting both. I said it's worth it getting both.
Also, you know what I might do is just flex that digital muscle a little, and maybe I'll just snag the digital 2-pack.
Hey, that's another option.
Since I already got I'm paying that shipping cost once already, so rather than refund to get that second ending, maybe I'll just get the digital.
Right.
Yeah, and that way, you will be saving on you'll be saving whatever difference there is between the digital and the physical, and you'll also be saving, of course, the shipping and all that stuff. So and taxes.
Also, we're going to be revealing all of the stretch goals very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The majority of the benefits of the stretch goals are going to go for the double deal backers, right? But there's also going to be for the single cover ones, depending on how many stretch goals.
Those lowly heathens like myself.
Sorry, what?
The lowly heathens like myself.
Yes.
That didn't buy that didn't go for the featured. Got it.
But you know what? But I feel like Rotten is getting something very special though, because he was a first day backer.
Oh yeah.
He's getting that free trading card that Carla made. So yeah.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be adding more stuff, adding more stuff. We have a lot of stuff planned. I still haven't announced it yet, but everything's pretty much done. So I'm gonna be announcing this week, I think, all of the extra benefits everybody's gonna have. Also the stretch goals. We have some creative ideas here. It's not like your usual stretch goals. That's what I can say.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna say that for now.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think this is this the card I have on the screen here that people.
Yeah,
that's right. That's the first day backer card. Now I will ask Carla, because she is in charge of this department, the art department. Will this card become available for sale later on?
Probably, yeah, as an add-on. I think there's gonna be a set of cards. It's not gonna be an only card. We also have been getting so many fan arts, but really high quality fan arts. Like you have an idea. Like so many great artists having. I don't know. It was like a trend, and it still is. Like people like, oh hey, I'm doing Witch Hunter today. I love the design of this, and and it's like a challenge because they see, right? Like, oh, this artist did Witch Hunter, so I'm gonna do one in my style. And it's like a trend. And seriously, there's so many. I think I'm gonna make like a thread of all the fan arts very soon.
Beautiful.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them too. Yeah, they've been popping up. Passion did a really good one too.
Oh yeah.
I love that the artists are really stepping up in that way. Like if they're going to do a warm up or they're doing something just for fun, they're kind of like, okay, well, it might as well be a character in CG, just because why not? And I think artists are doing more and more of that. It's great to see.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. And we did in the Grim Reaper to include the fan arts at the end of the book. So we'll see if it's an overwhelming amount of them. If it's like extremely too many, then I guess we could just make a contest and pick, whoever, top 5, top 10 to include in the book or something. That would be fun to do as well. So we could play with that. So
nice.
Fanfics from writers.
Hey, you know what? In this book has a fanfic in a way, because Stan the Dragon story really was born during a stream with the fans. They kind of came up with the story. So
yes.
So
that's cool. And this is the one that you drew, Carla?
Yeah, that's the one I drew.
Nice.
I was trying for the first time the anime kind of aesthetic. I think it's the first time it's done in CG, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of manga, don't get me wrong, but like this aesthetic, like anime one, I don't know. I like to think it's the first one.
Yeah, this card is so beautiful. Is there any influence or inspiration taken from like Vampire Hunter D for this character, this series at all?
I get asked that a lot. Unfortunately, not that one particularly, but there was a lot of influence from Castlevania, from the early video games of The Witcher, from the Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman back in the day. There's a lot of that in the story and aesthetic wise as well. And I don't know, Carla always says that this is a self-insert. I don't see it personally. I mean, the guy, the guy is super slim and agile, and I'm a fat guy, so I don't know. I don't see the self-insert at all.
What do you mean? You guys told me to draw both of you, Carla and John, for the cover. That's what
the truth comes out. Yeah.
Right.
that.
Yeah, we post and everything.
But I would say that aesthetically, I'm trying to inspire in Japanese kind of merchandise. The Japanese have very creative things to sell their characters, and I want to bring a little bit of that flavor to CG.
Yeah,
I don't think we are using all the resources we have. I think there's so many things we could do. Some of them are in the kinky side, and everybody who watches our channel know.
Right, sure, yeah.
We gotta start thinking outside the box. I think that's the main thing.
Oh man, I agree with you so much. Like I was saying before, we have the freedom. We're not restricted by some kind of executive board above us trying to make decisions and restricting our creativity or our expression in any way. So let's push those boundaries. I love you guys are really, it's cool to hear that you're really what can we do differently? How can we push this? How not just be as good, but better than what came before.
Yeah. Our only thing that's blocking us right now or not is going to be our own sense of morality or lack of.
Right. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some people do try to control, what goes on and what doesn't goes on in the indie sphere. But I just don't listen to them and give them this big fat middle finger and do my own thing.
Yeah, that's great, man. It looks like this Bee in the Book tiers was pretty popular. You already sold 5 out of 6 on that.
Yeah, if you're thinking of getting it, get it now because that is running out, my friend. You got one spot left. There's an executioner. There is angry townsfolk who are burning a witch, and there is a werewolf. I can think of the other one, but there's some really cool stuff.
Which one is the one that's left?
I think the one that's left is the executioner. Okay. So you will be the executioner. So yeah.
That's really. It seems like people like getting killed more in comics than killing.
Why?
Why is that? That's a weird thing.
I don't know.
So weird.
That's pretty fun.
Well, the one that gets killed is the werewolf. So if you want to be the executioner kind of does get kicked in the face pretty badly by the witch hunter. Yeah. If you like to be the executioner, get this one now.
Nice. Yeah, people. There's only one spot left. The drawn-in tiers have been really successful in CG, and that's really cool to see. I think it's another testament to how much the fans are enjoying being a part of it and interacting with creators. So it's a really fun way for people to be able to inject themselves into projects.
Yeah.
Very cool. What is this secret box all about?
It's a secret.
So the secret box it was a perk that we tried on the first campaign. It wasn't too popular then. On the witch hunt, not the witch hunt. I'm sorry, the Grim Reaper 2. We did it, but one hero backer got it twice. Right, he backed it twice. And he reviewed it live on his channel. And after that, people realized, so these guys aren't full of shit. They actually do give us pretty cool stuff in there. I cannot tell you what's going to be in the secret box because we reserve those ideas for, because it's a secret, it's a surprise. You get a box full of merchandise and our books from White Cat Comics. I will give you a little bit of an idea of what we put on the first box for a guy by the name of, he goes by the name of Wise Guys on YouTube. He reviewed it.
Nice.
He got a beach towel with designs from the characters of the Grim Reaper 2. He also received tons of shirts, like 6 shirts or something like that. Original art, commission art. He received these magic mugs that like you drink out of, and when you pour hot water, the image reveals itself with character design from what we've done. He received extra books, and I mean,
he definitely got so much more in value than what he actually paid for. So that's the main premise. So that's why a lot of people jumped on it like the first day.
Yeah, that's really fun. Just the not knowing what might be in there. I think that's a really fun thing. I don't think I've seen anybody else do anything like it.
Oh yeah.
Well, like I said, what we're trying to do at White Cat Comics is just be the different guy. Just be the punk kid at school that just never followed the rules and stepped out of line, because that's who I've been all my life in the first place. And I was a very weird kid because for whatever reason, I was really good friends with both the geeks and with the athletes, you know what I mean? And I could be friends with both and got the best of both worlds, you know what I mean? So I was big into sports, but at the same time, I was big into video games and comics and movies, and you know what I mean? So I was kind of friends with both the nerds and the and the strong guys. And I don't know, I mean, like you can, it's like that meme, why not both? You can do anything you want in life, man. You can be anything you want, and especially nowadays when you have the internet, you have the freedom. You have freedom like no other person in the history of humanity. Why not step outside the box? Why not come up with new ideas? Why not come up with exciting ideas that nobody's tried? Just like writing comics in a nutshell. A lot of times you might not think. Look, man, let me put it like this: if I learned English at 15, that was like what 15 years ago. You know what I mean? This is my second language, and I have written now 3 books. Anybody can do this, If there's anything stopping you, is your own fear of failure or whatever. Don't. We did this big one. We did this secret box thing. I didn't think we were gonna sell them a single one, and we did, and now we sold 3 this time. So you know what? Sometimes crazy ideas like that do work out.
Yeah. So is it going to be different for each person? Like a completely different experience when they
a completely different experience.
That's really fun.
And you don't even know I don't even know what you're getting. So
it would be fun. I mean, I don't know how the backers would feel about it, but because they maybe have to hold off on opening a little bit. It'd be really fun to get all the people that got the secret box
do it together.
Do like an unboxing together on your show. That would be fucking fun as hell.
You know what? I am going to reach out to them if we have them on Twitter or other social media and see if they're down, because that would be a really cool
thing. I bet they would be, just because they get to be even more a part of it, and then like the surprise of like, shit, what is in here?
Oh yeah.
I understand some people don't want to dox themselves or want to show their face, and if they are down, I mean, I would.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
For sure. Again, rule number 1 though: shirts off. Wear a mask, but shirts off.
That's it.
Yes. Shirts off is it's another big thing in CG. That makes me remember. I forgot about this, but I think that bastard Sim, I think he got me to take my shirt off on a stream once. I can't even remember where it was or what it was for, but holy shit, that's back in my drinking days. All of 2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months ago. Huh?
2 months ago.
Yeah, I had to put an end to that.
Yeah, the guy that started.
So I'm still crying because I miss Atomic Deuce.
I know, dude. Maybe bring that back. I don't know. I might be like, okay, I've kicked this drinking thing. It's no longer even a thing. So I can do the once a month. I just don't think I would feel right doing Atomic Deuce without a little whiskey. Just wouldn't feel right. Well, guys, this has been really fun talking to you. I like your ideas. I like that you're pushing things forward. You're trying to innovate in lots of different areas. I really appreciate that, and I wish I had more time to hang out. Every time I drop in on White Cat Comics on your YouTube channel, it's always a blast. You guys are really fascinating, interesting people, and you really don't hold anything back. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
You got a lot of passion for what you're doing.
That's for sure. Thank you for having us again, man. Really love being here. Let's do this again.
Absolutely.
You are
and I would love to have you. I do, midday repartee show, pretty much Monday through Friday, every week, and I think this digital topic would make for a good show. If you wanted to come on to that sometime, maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll set it up, and I think it's something a lot of people have a lot to say on. So.
Yeah, I would love to even have my views challenged on the matter. I don't, but yeah, I would love to do it. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out a time and a day, and we can talk about it 100%. And again, thank you for showcasing us. This is our passion project, guys. If you haven't done so already, please back Witch Hunter. It is a pretty cool story with amazing art and some really good people behind it working together to put it together, basically. So yeah, we are about $600 or so away from our first stretch goal, which is adding 4 more pages to the book. So please help us get there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that is absolutely going to happen. Of course, you guys are only about halfway through your first 30 days, so certainly that's going to happen. I think that this thing's going to get some legs. I think you're going to go well past Grim Reaper 2 numbers. I'm pretty confident in that. I think so. So, folks, if you haven't, they're giving you a lot of ways to jump in on this product. You can get, of course, 2 physical copies for $50 at the featured tier. But if that's too steep for you, if you can't afford the shipping, go ahead and snag these digitals. You're still supporting these creators, and you're going to get to read this incredible project. So I'm really starting to get won over with this. But obviously, for me, I still prefer the physical copy. But I'm softening up to this digital thing, and I think you might really push me all the way to the edge on this. Yeah.
Well, I hope I can. And like I said, this is not like this is not something that I'm particularly super, crazy or passionate about, or there can be some finger wagging within CG, and so
yeah, of course.
there can be some preaching, but it's not that I'm preaching about how wonderful it is. It's just something that to me makes sense,
Yeah.
And if it does to you too, then of course maybe give it a shot. To me, it makes sense. It's something that I would like, but maybe not everybody shares my views on that, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But I'm not going to shame people for not doing it or for doing it or whatever, or tell them that is the wrong thing to do. You guys do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's something that to me makes a lot of sense, and it's something that I can personally play with a lot and implement a lot of ideas I have regarding it. So I don't know. It's just something that I personally like and enjoy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to talk with you more about that. Folks, I've got all the links below in the description. People have been dropping links throughout the show. Go sub to White Cat Comics on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. And most importantly, go back Witch Hunter. All those links are available below. Thank you guys for being here. Vinny as well, thank you for hanging out with us. You, of course, you dropped the incredible cover B to Witch Hunter. Really cool stuff. And I do have Vinny's links down below as well. You've got a new thing coming up, man. Why don't you just real quickly tell us what that is?
Yeah, that's Shadow of the Kraken. This is my my pirate story. Again, I'm going the traditional route with this. It's not some crazy, stupid space thing. This is straight up. You love pirates in the 1700s. This is the book for you. It's set in the Caribbean. Lots of great stuff happening there. If you want, I could do the share screen too.
Yeah, let's have a look, man.
I gotta do the audio. Bam! I remember the audio this time.
Dude, yeah, the trailer for this is pretty sick.
Yeah, Red Gaze, man, he crushed it. I mean, this thing is so beautiful. But just so everyone knows too, before we hit the trailer, this is the quality work you're gonna get on every page. Above and beyond. Killer work.
It really is. It is looking like your best work, man. That's stunning.
Thanks, brother. Like I said, I'm really going all out. I want to make sure everyone who's backed my book so far, when they get this in hand, they're going to be like, Joe's going to hit the floor and shatter. That's my goal on it. So yeah, we'll hit the trailer and you get to see.
Let's do it.
Oh, you're muted. Rot, you're muted.
I did mute. Sorry about that. That is so. I love that trailer. So beautiful, man. And for those who do not know, Vinny Tartamella has done the cover B to the Project Witch Hunter for White Cat Comics. This is his latest and greatest, coming out soon. Shadow of the Kraken. Go sign up for that. I got a link below.
With the sign up, you get a
man.
free mini print with the sign up upon the first purchase when we go live. And trust me, this story is going to be a really good fucking roller coaster. Lots of great stuff happening. Treasure, betrayal, like I said, great, beautiful locations, brutality, everything that you need in a pirate story.
All right, man. That's so cool, dude. Thank you guys for being here. Really had a great time. People going back this Witch Hunter project, and tune into White Cat Comics. They're doing a lot of exciting things. Really great hanging out, guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat for being here, and we'll leave you with this.